Hello, everybody, and welcome back. They say you guys are not a Sonic jet plane, but you guys do break barriers. And to that, we say thank you. Today, we have a wonderful Tubi movie review. Oh my gosh, another entry into the Tubi's cinematic hierarchy. The name of this particular film is Twisted Marriage Therapist, and I believe this was Sean the Don's pick, so we're going to turn it right over to Sean the Don, and she's going to tell us all about it. Sean, please
All
take it away.
right, so this was my movie pick, and I only picked it because it had the word twisted in it, and it seems like every movie on Tubi has the word twisted in it. So
At
I was
least, at
like, which
least, at
one
least
can I
three of them.
find?
At
Like,
Whole
least.
yeah,
segment.
that's not terrible. So the Twisted Marriage Counts a Therapist was written and directed by Booker T. Madison. Um, so I'm
Strong
gonna just
black
get
man.
into the nitty. Strong black name, right? Booker T.
Fuck a
Madison.
T.
They were definitely on the front line of the civil rights movement. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get into the summary of the movie, and then we can just go on and talk about it. So the
Okay.
movie starts off with a woman walking in on a couple having sex, and she comes out with a samurai sword. Um,
It
Samurai
is
sword is
not a
correct.
it was
samurai
a
sword.
samurai
It is
sword
not
for
a
She
samurai
sure.
said what
sword.
she said.
To
Oh
me, it
my
looked like a
God.
samurai sword that she came out with. When she
I hope
came
somebody
out,
from Japan come and cut you. That's all I know. I hope somebody come
Yikes.
and just
damn, not with a
slice.
Yeah.
samurai sword, I'll tell you that.
Right.
All right, so the woman walks in on a couple having sex. She pulls out the samurai sword and stabs through both of them right on the bed. Just bow! What an opening! Like this movie started off with some umph. Like I'm like, damn,
My
you
type of
really want to
movie.
keep us, you really want to keep us on our toes watching this movie.
Engage. That's what I'm talking
Or
about.
run somebody off without like gratuitous
So
violence.
absolutely
That'll
did.
be all right.
So after the couple gets stabbed, we switch scenes and we go to um a woman watching a TED talk hosted by a marriage counselor. We see that I mean the man watching a TED talk hosted by a marriage counselor. When his wife walks in the room, they start talking about how infidelity. Basically, they start talking about infidelity. We learn in this point that she has cheated on him before, and they are trying to work through it. Then she suggested that they go on the marriage counselor that they seen doing the TED talk. They suggested that they go to her show. I mean, she was
Mm-hmm.
holding this conference for couples and called Grow, and they decided they were going to go on that and try to work through things in their marriage. So then we fast forward to the marriage counselor seeing the couple. As soon as she sees them, she immediately has this flashback of another woman who looks similar to our main character. And we don't
Juicy
know
Tony
what that's
Braxton.
about. Yes, the juicy Tony Braxton. We don't know what that's about, but we see that she immediately, as soon as she sees them, she has this flashback and she's like, I want them. I want them to be one of the couples.
Mm-hmm.
So you're like wondering why the hell does she want them to be on the show? That'll come on later. Fast forward to a scene where we see the marriage counselor and her showrunner, who we find out she's in a relationship with. But it seems like there's not just a typical relationship. It seems like she has her under some kind of control. The way that she talks about her taking her medications and the way that she's talking to her, you're like, is this a relationship or are you the parent? Like, what's going
Right.
on? It was given very uncomfortable. So we fast forward to the couple having they were chosen to be a part of the show, obviously, because the woman wanted them. They were chosen.
Mm-hmm.
We go back to them having their first session with the therapist, and it's at a boxing ring. I don't know what kind of therapy she is prescribing, but it just seems very dangerous.
I
After
mean,
a
she
few
did say
punches in
her
the face,
methods were, what did she
Extreme.
say? Experimental
were a
or whatever
little
she
Something
called them.
like that.
experimental. And they absolutely were. For her first session, for her to want them to go into a boxing ring to discuss their issues, and every time you have an issue, you land it with a punch, sounded like the
Damn.
Is
most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. So of
Mm-hmm.
course the wife is angry because the husband, like, after she cheated on him, she got the nerve to be mad that he's making her work through their problems. And so she just comes out the gate swinging, literally, just punching him,
Literally.
punching him, punching him. After about five, six punches, my man had to go back and swing back, end up knocking her out. And then he's looked at as the
Mm-hmm.
villain. That part really got me, y'all, because I'm like, I mean, how many times he gonna get punched in the face before he has to turn around
Yeah.
and sit her ass
he was
down a
back
little bit?
because what was he a Marine or something? Because he felt like he was
Ex-Marine.
back in the foxhole.
Yes, he
Yep.
was an
He was triggered.
ex-marine.
He said, "Ah!"
He was triggered.
Oh, we can't forget that now that the match was over, she made the wife do a celebratory dance, which was a sea
Uh,
walk, and made the
so
husband do the
stupid.
Dougie.
That
That was so stupid.
was painful. That
We
Yeah,
shit
it
was
was. They
painful.
look terrible
All right.
and
So
uncomfortable.
in a follow-up session, we learned that Juicy Tony Braxton and her husband have had two miscarriages in the past, and they've stopped having sex, which was what led to the infidelity. Yolanda, which is the therapist, sorry, I didn't say that earlier. Yolanda is the therapist.
Mm-hmm. Dr. Yo.
Dr.
Dr. Yo.
Yo.
Dr. Yo.
Dr. Yo is starting to get really comfortable in her sessions until at one point, she touches Juicy Tony Braxton's hand and they have this like intimate moment. It was a little uncomfortable. So you're like, damn, does she want her? What's her role? I don't
Right.
understand what she's trying to do. But Yolanda, Dr. Yo, is not done yet. She meets up with the husband next in a one-on-one session and she hits on him as well. Y'all, not only did she hit on the wife, but she hit on the husband. And her hitting
Mm-hmm.
on him was very blatant. But during their session, she also tells him that her husband has died in combat, that her husband was former military, but he died in combat. It's important for later on in the story.
Mm-hmm.
Their next session takes place in wilderness, and they do a couple of exercises. And at the end, Dr. Yo tells
Can
the
we call that
husband
the
about
wilderness behind somebody's house?
it was given wilderness. It was given you need a tent.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, she talks to him about his flashbacks that he had during their boxing session, and she offers him some medication that he reluctantly takes, and he starts freaking out that same night. And he starts taking these medications. How she gave him a prescription that same day, the world would never know. But 2BB movies be moving a little different.
She
Mm-hmm.
had it on her, man. She was slinging that thing. She had it on her.
Okay.
Then we learned that Dr. Yolanda, her love life is not all that it seems to be right now either. Her girlfriend says she cannot believe that she left her husband for Dr. Yolanda. And Dr. Yolanda again tries to exert her control over her, let her know, like, you made the best decision for you. And this was the best thing that you could do. Just trying to control this young lady who definitely seems like she needs to
Mm-hmm.
be in a mental ward or something. Something was off about her the whole movie.
Yeah.
So the couple decides that since the last time they had sex was when they snuck off at a party to go have sex, they decide, hey, let's do that again. And we're going to throw a party with the sole intention of sneaking away to go have sex.
I,
Go ahead,
I
Tristan.
was
What
I
you
was
going to
actually
say?
here for that. That was okay. I actually respected that.
Yeah.
I get that. You know? Because I feel like if I hate on them, that's kink shaming. I don't want to shame that kink.
We
The
You
kind of have
know?
to reenact, what gets you there. And so
what
she was
gets you
just trying to, yeah, set the mood for
whatever
that.
floats their boat. So they decide to have a party and sneak away and have sex. But before they can get the deed done, guess who shows up lurking in the shadows?
Who?
Dr. fucking Yo. Pops up out of nowhere and is
What do you do,
waiting in the
Tristan?
shadows.
What do you do? How do you react?
Yeah.
And threw her off of him.
No, because she
And
was
literally
like,
threw his wife off of his lap.
no, paint that picture. Paint that picture, Sean. Tell them exactly what was going on. Like they
Okay,
was
so
into it.
they're about to get down to the nitty gritty, about to have sex,
Mm-hmm.
and then he looks out of the window and he sees Dr. Yo just standing there, looking like a extra from a scary movie, just creepy as hell, and he just screams and throws his wife off of his lap, like literally
Oh
across the
man.
room.
Mm-hmm.
Like she was a dog. It's just like with all his strength. He was
Oh,
That was
can we hear the
funny.
yell one more time? How was the yell?
no.
That was
He
funny.
was not. He was not like she was on him. And they was into it. He
They
was like,
was
"Yeah,
getting
baby,
it.
yeah, baby." She was all juicy on him. And then
Oh,
like
they
that
rubbing.
juice went flying.
That juice
Oh
went
god.
flying all over the place.
Oh
Big mess.
god.
I am weak.
So
Man.
far, Dr. Yolanda, everything that she has been suggesting has not been working out for this couple. Thanks to her as well, but it has not been working out for this couple. So then we cut to the next scene. Dr. Yolanda is having another TED Talk. And this time she's talking about how her husband would gaslight her after he got home from war and he would put his hands on her. I thought your husband died during the war. So how did he come home and put his hands on you?
Right.
That
Liam,
part.
which is the husband, figured that out and was like, nah,
Yep.
there's something suspicious about this lady because she told me her husband died, but then she telling everybody else her husband came home from the war and would gaslight her and do all these terrible things to her. Not
Exactly.
true at all. Yeah, so Dr. Yo's whole thing is to set up Liam, the husband, and make him look like a bad person and make him look like a villain and a liar. So she made it known to his wife that he was on a medication that she prescribed to him, and she knew that he didn't tell his wife. So she wanted to put him out there as being this villainous person who lies to his wife. That was her goal. After at this part of the movie, this is when I started to figure out, oh, she don't want to have sex with the husband. She want to replace the husband. This whole time, I thought she just wanted to have sex with both people. I'm like, maybe she got a crush on both of them. But
To a free
no, it
freak.
was her way of setting him up so she can get him up out of the picture. This is when that twisted part started to really show itself.
I mean, I think she was twisted the whole fucking film. But I
From the
mean,
opening scene.
but if
This
that's
is a
the
flash.
moment, if that was the
And I
moment for you, I
realized,
get it.
Hey y'all, it's your girl, Shonda Dunn, and I'm here to tell y'all that we now have merch up live. You can find some t-shirts, you can find puzzles, you can find candles, whatever you want, we got it. Come check us out at culture101podcast.com.
That's
that's when
fine.
I
Yeah.
realized. At first, I thought she was a little wacky at her job, like making them do the boxing thing. It's a little wacky. But then she
The whole
started taking it to a
massage
whole nother
thing.
That
level.
massage.
How did I skip that? She had a session where she was trying to teach Liam how to massage and caress on his wife.
That shit was sexy. Very sexy.
Not this voice. I cannot.
Look, only thing missing in that scene was some Barry White. That's all I'm saying.
All right, so next scene, we're gonna go off that sex scene. That was cool, or that almost sex scene. That was cool. Da 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 da. So we learned that in her earlier in life that Yolanda and her best friend professed their love for each other, and then her best friend turned around and slept with her husband. Her
Yeah.
best friend, who also very closely looks like the main character of this movie, thick, what you call her? Juicy Tony Braxton. Juicy Tony Braxton. She looks just like her. So then we realized, oh, this is why she was having those flashbacks of, she was really of her best friend who she had long crushed for. And her best friend just crushed all her hopes and dreams by leaving her for her husband.
I think she equally crushed those dreams too.
Literally.
I don't know what in the Tyler Perry made them write that, but that took it too far. Like, why her best friend just couldn't just not want her? Why she had to steal her husband?
Child. You know how it go. Well, not personally, but you know. I hope not.
Okay. So, Yolanda and Juicy Tony Braxton decide to go out and have a night out on the town after Juicy Tony Braxton and her husband get into a disagreement. They decide to go out, and this is where we see Dr. Yo have this intimate moment, another intimate moment with Juicy Tony Braxton. While they're on the dance floor, you can just see the chemistry coming out, and you're just like, something's gonna go on between them two. So when Juicy Tony Braxton gets home that night, her and her husband start arguing. And of course, as soon as the argument ensues, here comes Dr. Yo trying to insert herself. She ends up calling Juicy Tony Braxton in the middle of it and sees that they are having a verbal argument. And instead of just seeing it as a verbal argument, she decides, maybe he's going to put his hands on her, and he calls the cops.
Because they're tussling over Juicy Tony
They're
Braxton's
tussling over the
phone.
phone, which doesn't mean that anybody was putting their hands on each other. It just meant that they
Right.
was tussling over the phone. But
I
she
mean,
takes this
all
opportunity to call the police, who
exactly
come there within a matter of 2 minutes.
2
I'm talking about
seconds.
gated community.
Yeah.
How the fuck they even get in the home? Did he even let them in? How did they even get in the
Yeah.
house?
They came in.
They came in, they didn't bust no door open or nothing. They just came straight in and went straight to it. Like, That part
It
really was
was
given Tubi.
Like, how you even know where
right,
they were in the house? How you even know they were even in the house?
right.
It was
Yeah,
given Tubi. I don't know what kind of white neighborhood that they lived in, that the cops even got there so quickly. But the fact they got in the house and they did all of that within a matter of 2 minutes, beyond me.
yeah. Real outlandish.
So then we fast forward to Liam getting arrested, and the crazy lady, Dr. Yo, testifies in court that Liam is crazy and that he's a liar and he needs treatment, all because she is trying to get him admitted into a psych ward so that she can steal his wife. Y'all, it was crazy.
Yeah, it was.
So while Liam is being interrogated, back at home, Dr. Yo is with Juicy Tony Braxton and she drugs her drink after bringing her food to try to comfort her. While she's passed out, Dr. Yo is kissing all over Juicy Tony Braxton's body, and you don't know what's gonna happen.
On some real freak shit. Ridiculous. Ridiculous.
And we flash forward to a scene where we see Dr. Yolanda got her girlfriend, the one who was her also her showrunner, she got her admitted into a psych ward. So we see her in the psych ward, we see Liam being interrogated, and he is mysteriously able to escape from the ward after being interrogated. He's escaped and heads straight to his house where he finds they had that part where the girl with that threw the dice. I did like that little part that they threw in there. The girl that was playing with the dice the
The
whole
marbles, the
time.
marbles,
The
the
marbles
marbles.
and the
Yeah.
marbles. How she was playing with the marbles the whole time. Then all of a sudden, when he's trying to make his great escape, she throws the marbles on the
She
ground,
helps him
and
out.
then the staff falls down to the ground, and he's able to make an escape.
A real one through and through. A real
A
one.
real, shout out to her helping my boy Liam out.
I see you, marbles. We see you, girl.
But okay, Liam ends up making it out of the ward, the psych ward, and he jumps into a van, speeds off, and races back to his house just in time to help save his wife, who is escaping the wrath of the crazy ass Dr. Yo, who had her tied up in the house. At the same time, we start to hear cop sirens approaching as they have her on the ground waiting for the cops to come get her. Y'all, it took so much for them to get this lady down. It
That part was annoying. The fact that like she had just escaped, ran into her husband's arms. They took time to like hug and everything. It's
to
like y'all can hug
hug and
later.
kiss and
Knowing
she's
this lady
still waiting to
chasing
come,
you,
and she still didn't
and
catch
that
him that whole time.
yeah, that was
And
annoying.
then they just come and they lay her on the ground and they just have her sitting on the
Hold
ground until the
her.
cops come holding her
Yeah, there was no
while
more
she
I
couldn't
struggle.
mean,
escape.
he is a grown man. He should be able to overpower this woman now.
There's some women that can
Nah,
break
there's
free
some
or
strong
overpower
ass
She ain't no
women.
men.
bodybuilder. She's not no
You ain't gotta be
bodybuilder.
no bodybuilder to be strong.
No,
Okay,
you don't.
I
And I'm
understand
sure
that, but like she
there's a
ain't
couple men I know
overpowering.
that I can overpower.
Okay.
I know that.
Okay,
I
okay.
seen
This
them work out.
the marine guy, the dude in great shape. No, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I'm sorry, not that guy, not him.
But now that they finally have gotten the twisted marriage therapist on the ground and the cops are coming, we move fast forward for 2 years and we see that the happy couple is together and they just completed their first 222, which is every 2 weeks they go on a date, every 2 months they go on a weekend getaway, and every 2 years they go on a week-long vacation. So they just finished their first time trying that out. And we also learn that Juicy Tony Braxton is pregnant. We learned that they have suffered a few miscarriages in the past, so this was a really big deal that she turns out to be pregnant later on in the movie. And then we fast forward to see Dr. Yo in prison this time, having yet another TED Talk with the prisoners and
Lady.
discussing, out of all things, revenge.
Of
So I think
course.
they were trying to open the door for us to have another movie with her getting out and seeing
I
how that's
agree.
about, maybe going back and stalking Juicy Tony Braxton or whatever the storyline may be off that. But they definitely left the doors open for there to be a part two.
For sure. I agree.
Overall, I would say Twisted Marriage Therapist was a good movie. I thoroughly enjoyed it, even with its flaws. I thought it was good. It was okay acting. Just like any other
I
Tubi
think
movie, it had its flaws, but overall, I would definitely, I think I would rate it a 4.
okay. I think it
Maybe
was good
3.5. Maybe I'm
overall.
being lenient.
If you feel like it's a 4, stand on your ground.
I
It's
mean,
a
that's your
4.
business. That's your business. I
Yeah,
can,
I ain't
you know.
judging. I ain't judging. But I agree. I think it was one of the better Tubi movies we've seen thus far. I think the acting was cool. The saving grace was the actress that played Dr. Yo. She was great. Like she was a great
Yeah,
actress. You could.
she did a good job.
She was very
Fantastic.
convincing in her role. The others
That was her
involved were
crazy
just.
ass girlfriend. I don't know. I felt like she was crazy too. I felt like she was
Mm,
on that medication and she didn't get medicated. So she
She
was
might have
just,
been in medication real life.
mm-hmm.
that's fine.
Um,
I accept that.
Yeah, the story was cool overall. There were like a few holes that I feel like they could have fleshed out a little more, but overall, I think it was cool. I would probably give it, what do we go up to 5? I'll give it 3.5.
Okay.
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 That's solid.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Tris, what
Um.
about you?
Okay. So this movie, it was. I'm not gonna tell you I wasn't entertained. Like when they say, "Are you entertained?" I was because the lady playing Doctor Yo, she was on another level with bringing in the scene, and I
Yeah,
feel like she was the saving grace in any of the scenes with the couple because she was so dynamic like an
yeah,
actress, like she really played the character well, and you would think she was like she gave crazy, but it was very controlled. Like I really believe that she was a doctor. Like I really believe that like these tactics were unorthodox tactics that she were using. Like I felt like even though they were kind of crazy the way they played out, those are some pretty good tactics in a way, to try to flush out issues and find some couple. You know what I'm saying? So like I have to
Nah, I
give her
don't
some
agree,
credit
but
there.
I get what you're saying.
Like now when you was over here touching the wife's body and putting your nails and you was kissing on it, that was a bit much. I don't know about all of that.
you agree with the
Like
boxing?
the boxing made sense if she followed the rules. If you had followed the rules and you had actually stated your grievances before you started, okay, I would accept that.
She said
But
three
you over
words, three
here,
punches.
right, and you over here getting in the ring like you Mike Tyson.
Getting your licks
No,
in.
no, no, no. You should be happy he didn't hit you more than once. That's all I know. Because if
Mm.
he had hit you with all his strength too, be happy he didn't do that. You'd be dead. You'd just be like, "What happened, girl?" You'd be in heaven. Like I fucked around. My husband hit me too hard,
Found
girl.
out.
Exactly. Only technical issues I had in the movie with the music was a little too loud in certain scenes, a little too
Mhm.
intense. I think they just didn't do a good job there. Um, Definitely a few shots I felt like they were missing, but I understand it's an independent film. I don't want to harp on that too much. The one thing that really bothered me was that party that was fucking corny. Like
Oh, with their friends.
yeah, they
Yeah.
needed 10, 20, 10 and 12 more extras. I understand, low budget, I get it, but that shit was a little corny. Um, because I felt like the symposium and like the seminar she was hosting was way more
Way,
believable
way more
than like
people.
even the party. You know what I'm
Yeah.
Hmm.
saying? So I just a little inconsistency there. And then at the end of the movie, then when they're trying to wrap stuff up, I think they kind of rushed it,
Yeah.
getting to
The
like that
fight.
point, and then trying to find that climax at the end. Trying to find some excitement at the end with the knife and the we're gonna kiss, and then she's gonna try and come and stab us. That was a bit much. I don't know. I think my favorite actress outside of Dr. Yo was Juicy Tony Braxton, just because she was Juicy Tony Braxton, and I can't be upset, at Juicy Tony Braxton. That's amazing. That's wonderful. So
And her
shout out
name
to her.
was
Um,
Arnika in the movie, by the way. We don't call her
Arnika,
Juicy Tony Braxton.
yes.
We never
Unimportant.
said her name.
JTB, JTB, Juicy Tony Braxton.
Speaking of which, since we keep saying Tony Braxton, her birthday was the other day. So happy birthday, Tony. She turned
Happy
56.
birthday, Tony Braxton, girl. Happy
Looking
birthday.
amazing. Mm-hmm.
But that reaction to the window was some of the funniest shit ever. I fucking love that. I understand it was supposed to be a serious scene, but that was funny as fuck. That was hilarious. I'm gonna give it a 3. I'm gonna give it a 3 because I
Solid.
feel like there was some solid filmmaking, but the only reason it didn't get a 2.5 is because of that actress who played. What is that
Mm-hmm.
actress's name? Let's get her name because we want to shout her out because that lady did a remarkable job. She just was
Dr.
in it to
Yo.
win it. Yes. Oh my God. She was dynamic. She had levels with her acting. It wasn't just all one way. She was just tremendous, man. We're gonna get her name for y'all right now. Twisted Man, oh, it came right up. I think her name is Marija Juliet Abney. Is that right?
That
Yup, that's
Am
sounds
it.
I name?
right.
Yeah, Marija Juliet Abney. Shout out to you, girl. You did a fantastic job. Would love to see some other stuff that you were in. Fantastic, fantastic. But yeah, no, I'm gonna give it a three. Gonna give it a three. Three fifths, baby. Three fifths.
That's solid.
All right. So we gotta ask the question. It's that time. Sean, does this movie do it for the culture?
I'm gonna have to say yes. It did it for it. It does it for the culture.
Wonderful, wonderful. Les?
I'll agree. I think it does do it for the culture. I think overall the story, the actors in it, especially like we said, Dr. Yo, and then the fact that you know how Tubi loves to do, they like to leave it open ended to where there can be multiple sequels. So like I'm here for it.
Hey man, the grab for more money. We're all here for it.
Hey, get your
I
money,
get it.
y'all.
I
Ain't
get it.
mad at it.
I'm gonna also agree with you. We're gonna do a full spectrum, man. Yeah, it definitely does it for the culture. I liked it, if nothing else, just because it was a different topic than we had seen. Like I haven't really seen too many movies about a marriage therapist trying to plot on taking
Yeah,
somebody's wife.
Yeah.
That was already interesting.
they get
So
points
I
for
mean,
originality for sure.
exactly. It wasn't about some gangster, some drugs, some crazy infidelity. I mean, there was infidelity, but like was infidelity you never see, you
Right,
know? So,
right.
yeah, I'm gonna say that it did it for the culture, and I feel like it showed us in a pretty positive light. I mean, Dr. Yo was fucking crazy, but I mean, somebody got to be the villain. Somebody has to be the villain of the movie. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, definitely does it for the culture.
She plays a good villain. I want to see her in more villainous roles.
I do. I really do. I just want to
Yeah,
see her in more roles, man. Cause
yeah.
just like the duskiness of her voice was just
Mm-hmm.
enough. Like just the tone that she would use. Like, I felt like she was a mixture between like Carmen Sandiego and like Angela Bassett. You know what I mean? She was very good.
Okay, I like that. See that combination.
Anyway, guys, that brings us to the end of another Tubi movie review. I hope you enjoyed the film, or if you haven't seen it, I hope this inspires you to go and watch the film because I definitely feel like it's something that you will enjoy. It's definitely entertaining. I'm not going to say it's great, but I'm going to say that it was definitely entertaining. So until the next time, guys, we out of here.
Bye.